My name is Raul, and I'm thrilled to talk to you about two technologies that are going to radically change our business. So I'm going to talk about AI and about cloud, basically, I've got the right guy with me, his name is Bhavik, he's from AWS, to talk about cloud and AI and what benefits and value and opportunities it's going to bring to you. So the first thing we are going to touch upon is really cloud. Okay, so we could speak about cloud for days, and I could speak for days about how well Galaxy 5 can be deployed in hybrid situation on premises in the cloud. I could talk about auto-scaling. I could talk about how well we integrate with S3, we integrate with Glacier. But this is not really about technology. This is really about what you do with it. So later on, I will speak about 3 workflows for which AWS bring you real value financially and operationally. Okay, and the second thing we will touch upon is Dalet Media Cortex, which is this new framework that is going to embed artificial intelligence, and it is going to augment every aspect of the workflow. So before that, I would like to introduce you to Bhavik, who is a lead media entertainment partnership for AWS, and it's going to talk about all the opportunities and the benefits you can get out of cloud and AI. So please welcome Bhavik.
Thank you, Raul. Thank you.
Clicker.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for taking your few hours on a Sunday. Just by way of quick introduction, so my name is Bhavik. I work on the AWS partner team. And the team that I work within, we're responsible for our global partnerships and alliances for media and entertainment specifically. And so today I wanted to just walk you through what our customers are doing with the AWS cloud, and give you some insights into the journey they're taking and the things that they're doing from an innovation perspective that can hopefully inspire you to do similar things and sort of blaze the trail as it comes to cloud, as we look at next generation media workflows and a big change in our business as it comes to content creation and delivery. This slide here is just a quick overview of some of the customers that are beginning to use AWS from a media perspective. And we've been very lucky to have some very big brand names move to the AWS platform. So companies like Disney, 21st Century Fox, the BBC, Hulu for streaming, obviously Netflix, Discovery Communications that recently moved its entire broadcast playout to the cloud. So there's lots of innovation across many different customers across our industry. And we're extremely fortunate to both be able to learn and to provide our services to customers such as yourselves and then customers that you see on this slide. If you're not familiar with AWS, just a quick background on what we do. So we provide a cloud platform globally. We operate in 18 different regions across the world. And we have some new regions that we're announcing or that will be coming online within the next 12 months. We operate multiple different data centers that formulate an availability zone, and that formulates one of our regions. So you'll see here that we have many, and we have expansion specifically in the Middle East, in Asia Pacific, and then also for our government cloud. And this is our global footprint. And what we're trying to do here is to allow our customers to have access to the same services and the same products, irrespective of where they are. So our customers can build and deploy globally within a matter of minutes if they're writing correctly and designing correctly from a templated perspective. The way we break apart the media and entertainment industry, we decided to, just after many years of learning how to do this and learning from our customers as to what they do, is to try and break apart the camera to screen workflow that you are all involved in on a daily basis. And so we work to ensure that our products and our services, and also that we have the right partner ecosystem to support multiple different areas of a very complex business that you run. So from content acquisition to the digital supply chain, to the actual monetization, whether you go to linear broadcast or whether you go to OTT or whether you go to digital publishing. We also work extensively on helping our customers build out the MAM and DAM systems that really control all of the assets that are going to be the fundamental ingredient to a lot of these workflows. We're beginning to experiment on the post-production side. So we have Adobe talking next about video editing. but visual effects, video editing, video QC, all form part of the post-production workflows that can also migrate to the cloud. And then underneath that, we have analytics and ML. So what we're seeing is the ability to drive analytics across the entire workflow and workloads that you create. The ability to instrument, the ability to measure, the ability to analyze, and then hopefully the ability to take that information and optimize the way you do your business today and as you go forward. And then the same with AI and ML. So we see the ability to apply AI ML to extensive pieces of this workflow, things that people have been thinking about today. So for example, in visual effects, can you apply AI ML? Can you do it to OTT? Can you optimize ad insertion? Can you optimize even content creation? So when we look at these workloads and we apply them to where our customers are beginning to innovate, this slide just summarizes a little bit. We've got Scripps and Hulu that are doing content acquisition for both for live and visual effects. A lot of post-production innovation going on around editing and collaboration and dailies from Pick Systems. Media supply chain becomes a really interesting dynamo that we see being created in the cloud. So this is where all of you will build media supply chains on-premise. You maybe bring them hybrid. Hopefully the cloud offers you some very interesting areas to innovate, because at the end of the day, a lot of our content is going to be distributed to a playout system or to an OTT platform. And if you're in the movie business, you're going to distribute to cinema. But one way to view it, though, potentially is that all of the content that you create is going to be reformatted for the device that your consumer wishes to consume it over a certain period of time. And so what we see in the area of innovation and supply chain is the ability to be agnostic with respect to your output. So Raul and Kevin and Arnaud talked a little bit about IMF. So this allows you to begin those processes, distribute, create, process content dynamically based on the distribution format or screen that you wish to deploy to. When we look at analytics, we've got a lot of customers adopting big data analytics as part of their platforms. And then obviously asset management becomes a key piece to our customer workflows. And so many customers moving petabytes of content into the cloud, but not just for storage. The reason they move is not just for the storage piece, but it's the ability to apply different functions to that content. And that's what I'll get into next. So why move into the cloud? So our customers are driving us to help them become faster at what they do, to allow them to build truly end-to-end workflows and workloads. So camera to screen in an extremely dynamic, global, distributed environment becomes a very complex piece of what we do. Faster, so that's faster time to market. It's faster time to processing your content for delivery. It's faster times to do live to VOD, to push to social, to really engage with your audience in multiple different ways. So from VR to 4K to HDR to HD, all of the different ways in which you will process, package, and deliver your content requires a high degree of processing and complex workflows. And so the ways in which we can drive the time down to do those is ways which we think the cloud can greatly benefit. Smarter comes in through that AI ML. So how do we understand and learn what our customers do with our content to make better business decisions about potentially where we invest in that content or how we package that content for delivery? And the same with monetization. You can apply a lot of interesting techniques to monetization as to where you place your ads, where you do your promos, where you potentially how you also invest in your content as you begin to distribute. And then finally, more efficiently. So we believe in the cloud, you have the ability to forego many of the things that you have had to do on-premise, predominantly running data centers and infrastructure that may not be a core piece to your business. So if we can offload that, we believe that allows our customers to focus much more on the core competence that they do, which I imagine in most of your cases is going to be creating media, creating an experience for your customer that allows them to engage and keep their eyeballs on your content. A lot of that is not differentiated by the way you operate infrastructure, and that's one way we can think you can be more efficient. So how do we do this? So we see many ways in which our customers are beginning to explore and move to the cloud. And a lot of it stems from both hybrid and cloud-only workflows. And so we have multiple ways in which you can get your content to the cloud, or multiple ways in which you can use the cloud as an extension to your on-premise infrastructure. And so if you think back to the customers that we described doing different pieces across this camera to screen complexity, Many of them are doing hybrid. So linear playout for discovery communications is a hybrid workflow that comes from the cloud back onto on-premise to then be distributed over cable and satellite. The same with asset management workflows. If you're involved in live news and sports, it's going to come from a studio or an event. That means that you automatically have to build a hybrid workflow. And so we have many ways in which for you to achieve that from a security, from an infrastructure, from a networking perspective, from on-premise to the cloud. What we offer you, just at a very high level, the AWS platform has over 100 different services that you can use, pay-as-you-go and on-demand. We try to break it out into sort of high-level components. You have native solutions that let you do things like video processing or storage. You have partner solutions, a wide array, and which is why it's phenomenally lucky for us to speak with the Dalet team today about the hybrid technologies that you require at the business layer that operate both on-prem and in the cloud and traverse that hybrid interconnect. And then many custom ways in which our customers are building their own distribution platforms or their own technologies. Underpinning that are core services. So core services around storage, around compute, around databases, networking, CDN, security, and then AI, which you can all apply to what you build. When we pivot to storage, which becomes a really key essential piece for the Galaxy MAM platform, we have multiple ways of delivering storage solutions to really meet the business needs and the application needs within your workflows or within your workloads. And so in the middle here, you see the 3 types of storage products that we offer: block storage, file-based storage, and then object-based storage. And those products, Amazon EBS, EFS, S3, and Glacier, are our products that support that. On the edges, though, I think it becomes more interesting. It's not just about the storage. It's why would you move storage, and then what are you going to do with that storage once it's up in the cloud? And so on the left-hand side of the slide, you see multiple different methods of how you can get content into the cloud. And this can be part of a discrete workflow. It can be part of a hybrid workflow. You can use physical appliances to ship your content if you're doing a data center migration. You can use direct connect or private network link if you're trying to do a truly 24/7 hybrid workflow. All of this gets content into the cloud very easily. And then you can apply multiple different technologies, both partner solutions like the Galaxy platform, and then also back-end solutions that allow you to optimize and use that data once it's in the cloud. And so these services are available as part of the overall platform beyond just storing data on disk. When we dig a little bit deeper into storage classes, so you may have heard of Amazon S3. So that is on the left-hand side. We have different variants of our S3 products, and we actually launched a new version of our S3 products last week called S3 One Zone, which is a lower price for S3 in a single zone within one of our regions. And that comes with about a 25% price reduction. So you have different ways of moving your content through your workflow, different price points, different durations of retention to achieve those price points. And what this means is that you have basically a tiered archive system, ultimately residing potentially in Glacier. And so the systems like Dalet and what the Dalet engineering teams are building is the ability for you to seamlessly migrate your data and then tier your data based on usage so that you get the maximum cost effectiveness from the storage systems that you're using in the cloud. If we talk quickly about AI/ML, this is news to me. So at Amazon, this is a very big thing, and will be this week at NAB, is the AI/ML story. For Amazon in general, we've been using and developing AI/ML technologies for about 20 years. So if you shop on Amazon.com or Amazon.fr or .co.uk or wherever you may shop, everything that you get presented to you after you've chosen something or when you're recommended something is driven by AI and ML technologies that we've implemented from a retail perspective. When you order something on Amazon, the way those packages move in the warehouse is controlled by the similar technologies and the robots that move that content. If you have an Alexa product today, it is using AI/ML in the back end to understand what you're saying, to parse the questions that you're asking, and to deliver the content back to you. And then if you, possibly none of us have received a drone package yet, but that also will be powered by AI/ML, because you want those drones to get to where they have to go as efficiently as possible, and you want the order fulfillment system to decide what that delivery system is. So with all of this, we apply this to a platform that allows you, or the Dalet system actually, to use hopefully best-in-class technologies. And so starting from the bottom, we have infrastructure that provides the GPU technology or the CPU technology or the IoT technology that will actually enable you to collect and analyze data. In the middle, you have all of the AI frameworks that are best suited to the application and the business question that you're looking to answer. So whether it's MXNet or TensorFlow or Caffe2 or Caffe, you can choose the right AI ML technology to drive the correct business logic to answer the business questions that you're asking. On top of that, we build more native platforms. So we have SageMaker that allows you to do your modeling. We have AWS Deep Lens that is a camera that is actively looking at interaction so that you can create your own learning models. We have Amazon Machine Learning. We have Spark and EMR to do big data analysis. We have Mechanical Turk that will let you push questions to actual humans to do data analysis or interpretation. And then on top of that, we have our services like Recognition or Chatbox, which is our Lex service, or Polly, which does speech analysis, speech to text. And these are all the ways in which you can build AI ML solutions with the content once it's in the cloud. And then to finish, what we see our customers doing when they move to the cloud is not just looking at AWS as a hosting platform or just for serving up websites or just even for DR. Like, we encourage you to think and talk to us and talk to the Dalet team about what's possible with respect to your business as you look forward. Not the problems you have today, but the problems you're going to face or where you would like your business to be in 3 to 5 years' time. So we see our customers asking us these questions and pushing us, right? So you can look at simple backup and DR for your content. But very quickly, once you start to move content into the cloud, it becomes an active content store. And so one of the phrases we have begun to use recently is you're essentially building a content lake of everything that you've created and everything that you will create. And that content lake becomes the most valuable thing that you can run analysis and processing and third-party services, and that's what allows you to keep engaged with your customer. And so these content lakes become very active. So the DR side becomes an active DR site, which becomes essentially your active storage pool. And that now lets you start applying and analyzing data. So all the metrics that you gather, all of the things that you do, all of the AI ML, all of the metadata that you can extract, all of the archives that you've had historically can be reused if you can analyze them. And that's what we hope that's what our customers are pushing us on is, once we've moved the content, it's not just about storage, it's about everything else that we're going to do to that content once it's done. And so what we see then is this circular environment where the cloud hopefully becomes, with supply chain, with asset management, with post-production, an evolution, basically a dynamo for what you do as a business on a day-to-day basis, which means that you will bring content in, you have to manage it, you have to build a supply chain, you have to push it to linear or OTT or to digital, you have to collect analytics on that content, and with those analytics, you are going to make decisions to what you do next as a business, where you invest, what content you make, how you monetize that content, what promotions you do, how you engage with your audiences. And so we see this as becoming a very circular dynamo that you can build, not just cloud storage, but many other things that can drive your business. And so with that, I'll finish. I'm going to hand back to Raul to talk about what Dalet is going to do in helping you in this journey. Thank you for letting me speak to you. I'm Raul. I'm going to hand back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's great. We now better understand, the opportunities we've got putting your content into AWS. So let's from a Dalet perspective, understand a few workflows on which you can leverage on AWS. And the first one will be to migrate your archives in AWS. So I'm pretty sure that some of you here have those old tape library and you don't really know what to do. Should I upgrade to L207, or should I just buy one of those storage, spinning disk storage? Or should I go to AWS, there are a number of opportunities here, and we can really help you. So we've got some tools to migrate your content from on-premises to the cloud, right? So it's pretty simple. You take your media, your files, you gather different metadata coming from different places, you put that together, that becomes asset that you move to Glacier or to S3. So on the paper, it's fairly simple, but this is your opportunity to do new things And those new things can be generated, simply generating new proxies, because you've got those old files that have old proxies that don't meet your standards of quality. So one opportunity to generate new proxies, that's great. But what about QCing those old files? You don't even know whether you can read them or not, And why not doing some artificial intelligence indexing on top, so you can really add value to your content. And that is orchestrated by the Dalet workflow engine and can bring real value to your workflows. So what we show at NAB on our demo, on our MAM pod, Cloud Pod, sorry, is migrating content coming from your local storage into AWS, okay? And on the way, we use Dalet Media Cortex to do some indexing. And you will see, I will show you personally that you can surface content you would have never found before. Okay, so it's pretty impressive to see this in action. I really invite you to see this. And the other way the workflow engine helps you to do is really to optimize the storage costs and find the best possible class of storage that you can use for your media. Remember that AWS comes with various different storage services, with various different classes. They all have their own price. And you need those files to be along with metadata so you understand the asset, and you can decide based on business policies where the asset should be best stored. Should I store it in S3 because I need it in the next few days, or should I go to Glacier, And same for the retrieval speed. You can retrieve your files at different speeds depending on how fast you need it. But of course, the price is different, right? So we did some integration, and we really integrate that well with job priorities in order to optimize those costs. And we've got a case study here in America where this customer is migrating a massive amount of content into AWS. I mean, we are talking here about 11 petabytes. That's huge. And they use AWS Snowball to migrate big bunches of media into AWS. And what we do is we reference it back, and we make it available for all users. And on top, they are orchestrating a number of processes, and we have that optimization of the storage part of it. So the other use case that I'm quickly going to touch upon is how you can use AWS to better share your content across sites and for users that are not necessarily on site. So either you have an existing Dalet installation, and then you can put some component of Dalet into AWS, including your proxies into AWS. You don't need to put your high resolution. You can only put your proxy. It's OK. We keep the link, Or the other situation is you don't have a Galaxy system. And of course, we'll be happy to sell you a new Galaxy system. But this Galaxy system can happen to be fully hosted in the cloud. Okay? And this is exactly the kind of thing that some of our customers in Japan are doing. I will explain. But on top of this, you've got a number of tools in order to better find your content, better share your content. You've got collaborative tools like the chat window and so on. So you have all these environments you can benefit from. And we've got those people. I met some of the users a few months ago from Japan. And they say that they're essentially using the mobile application to use the system. Okay? So they are browsing through the media, and they can approve or reject content. Okay? And they are even doing that while commuting on the metro rather than playing games. You can also work, contribute to your production environment. And also, I heard one of the guys was in the middle of the Amazon and uploading media with his on-the-go application through a satellite connection. So he said that was really slow, but essentially it worked. Okay, and the third case, which is really great, it's to create a disaster recovery, your disaster recovery, fully hosted in AWS. And why is that? I mean, you can do a lot of things. I mean, you want to do a GR system because you want to build your business continuity plan. You want maybe to put together a training system or a staging system or a test system, you know. The possibilities are infinite. So the idea here is to create an environment which is capable of scaling up and scaling down depending on the needs. So obviously, if you do GR, most of the time your GR is not going to be in production, right? It's a GR system. So you need just a few resources in order to acquire the content that you need in case of disaster. So you pay for very little process, you know, very little processing. So you don't pay much for the infrastructure. But if you want really to go in production, then you can scale up. And we demo that as well on the cloud pod during the show. So I invite you to come see this. So there are a number of benefits, and one of the key benefits is you can do savings well over 50% of the infrastructure. That's the key thing. So essentially, Bhavik explained well, you know, the different benefits and opportunities you've got putting your content in the cloud, leveraging on artificial intelligence. So the other aspect of all of this is artificial intelligence. And I'm thrilled to introduce Dalet Media Cortex, which is our new offering around artificial intelligence. Kevin and Arnaud well explained, you know, that it's going to touch on all aspects of the workflows, even the infrastructure, the workflows, the tools, the users, the content, you know. So it's going to be everywhere in the future. We all know this. It's going to be just like electricity, you know, artificial intelligence. So on the paper, it looks very simple. You've got your media, your production media, your archive media, the stuff that is being ingested. You just process it, you receive metadata that's available for your users. But that's just on the paper. In reality, it's a lot more complex than this. One of the examples to illustrate this is you've got a lot of data coming from those engines, artificial intelligence engines. But you need, for example, Donald Trump to be the same Donald Trump in your media indexer and in your MAM system, right? It needs to be the same one. So we call that entity linking. So we need to do a number of extra processing on top of the artificial intelligence in order to make it really valuable and usable in your MAM environment. So that's exactly what we are showing at the stand. And I invite you again to see this in action because we can really feel that this makes a great difference in the workflow. And we found out that the BPM is absolutely essential to do these kind of things. So thanks to the BPM, you can not only optimize the way you're going to use different algorithms to do the job, but you can also automate all this processing and making the alignment possible. But again, it's not only a matter of technology, it's really a matter of user experience, how users are going to consume AI. So this year, we are happy to introduce a Dalet Discovery Board. You saw the press release about it. It's the the first tool that we put in place to consume artificial intelligence and to get journalists to be presented with relevant content to them when they type a story. Okay, so this is the first of the many tools we plan to release, and that will be part of Dalet Media Cortex. But there is one thing that is going to be really important. It's what we call domain adaptation or fine-tuning, you know. You need to teach the engine to behave better and better and to give better results. So we will really need the users to interact with the back office. So that's what I call fine-tuning on the left. So we identified already plenty of opportunities in MAM, in news, in sports, in programs, in production, in distribution, in workflows, platform. So I'd be really interested in understanding what you think you're going to use AI for. So please talk to me, talk to us. Will be really interesting to talk about this. So we have put together a very special team at the R&D to put together. We really believe in Dalet Media Cortex. And we are really lucky also because our head of R&D happens to be a teacher for the last 30 years at the university in artificial intelligence. So we hope that we will have a step ahead compared to others because we really have deep knowledge in our R&D to provide you with the best possible tools. So come and see us on the stand. I hope you enjoy NAB, and thank you very much.